What's up, oddballs? Welcome back to the Oddity Shop, the place where the bizarre is always on sale. Why does that sound weird? Is it place?
Because you
the
said
shop?
the place.
The place.
The
I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, this is the podcast where we tell you creepy, odd, weird, strange, bizarre stories from around the world. I am one of your two curators of the shop, Zachary, sitting here with the other lovely, wonderful, gorgeous curator number 2, or sometimes number 1, Kara.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
I like that we can alternate 1 and 2.
It depends on who's been like nicer to the other one that week is in number 1 spot.
So who's actually in 1 or 2 right now?
I think I was nicer this week.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
You're not arguing, so.
I'll take your word for it.
Fair enough.
Oh my goodness.
How are you?
Well, the cramps are cramping. And I currently want to kill multiple people, but also like snuggle puppies and cry.
Fair. I mean, I'm not having the cramp issue, but I could snuggle puppies and cry. That sounds great.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't sound awesome? You know those interviews? I don't know what interview it is, but you'll see clips where it's like interviews with a celebrity, but they bring puppies that are about to be adopted.
Yes.
And so the celebrities sit on the floor and all the puppies come.
And like they read like, it's usually them reading like mean letters or something.
Or yeah, whatever. I don't even give a shit. Give that to me. Give me an interview with puppies.
That would be so great. We need to find some like spooky puppies.
Oh, but here's the problem. Then they'd all become ours.
Yeah, that is true. We would adopt them all. We have literally no self-control around animals. Although we both have a sane number of pets.
Well, I think it's because we have roommates / significant others that are like, yeah, no.
Yeah, help keep it in control. That's for sure.
So if we live together.
Oh, God, it would be literally a zoo. We would literally have a zoo, dude.
Oh. Anyway, what's good with you?
I was going to say, though, the one thing that might be helping your cramps is for it being, you know, like a solid middle of fall. It was 80 degrees almost today. So like that was pretty freaking nice.
I know, because right now when we're recording, it's October, what, 20th?
20th today.
And it was, like 80 degrees. I worked all day, but it was like glorious just like going outside every once in a while. It was so beautiful. I was jealous of all the people that were like outside gallivanting pumpkin patches and things, you know.
Oh, by the way, I know I started to tell you, but my documents did start to come in. So I am now officially, even though this episode comes out after our cruise, I am officially going on the cruise now that I realized, like, literally 3 weeks before we left that I did not have a valid ID. So it showed up. I will now be allowed on the boat. I got the temporary ID and I got the full birth certificate.
And the temporary ID is fine?
I'm sure it will be. The other one still has a couple weeks to come. It'll be fine.
Okay, well, otherwise I was told to tell you that Shauna has a hookup and you can get a passport in literally 24 hours if you need.
Oh, perfect. Okay, cool.
Shout out to Sean.
Shout out to Sean.
Okay.
That's the big stuff I've got today. What about you? Anything else before we get the shop rolling?
So a video came out today that I watched literally probably an hour and a half ago. And I kind of wanted to talk about it just a little bit. I'm not trying to like put ourselves in any sort of drama or whatever, but it's just it's unsettling to me. And I know we've talked about it a little bit before. So Jason and Satori Hawes posted another video today. Well, they haven't really posted a video, I don't think, together about the Conjuring house.
They've done a couple.
Together?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't watched them all. And it was just like one of those things where it's just really sad because they're terrified. And now Satori's getting like threatened to like be murdered and like hope that you die. And it's just like really scary. And it's just mental health is just so scary.
No, I think definitely though, like the mental health is super important. And I think I've only watched probably 15 minutes of videos total about the whole thing just when it started. And I don't think either side is really acknowledging how much mental health plays a factor in it. And I just hope, without inserting ourselves in it, that everyone gets the help that they need and can move on past it.
And this is why we haven't talked about it, because it's not our business and we don't actually know. But this video did. And it was basically addressing that like there should be more help in the world when we can seriously see somebody struggling with mental health. There should be more opportunities for us to help people that we see that are struggling. And, you know, whether it's the state or the city or the police, like things like that. That's my point of this conversation, is just like, we need to be doing stuff for that, because it's just when you can clearly see somebody's struggling and there's nothing that you can do until something bad happens, that's not cool. And that's basically the video. If you watch the video, even if you take everything out of the video, like The Conjuring and everything, what this particular video that I watched today is it's not about the paranormal. It's about the fact that it's a mental health issue and like people need to like step in, but nobody can step in because they're literally have been told they have to wait until something bad happens.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy in our world. That's not. So anyway, I don't want to get into drama. It was just a mental health, like check your brain, check yourself,
check your brain,
friends.
Check yourself, get help if you need it. And for all those involved with the drama, I think I can speak for both Kara and me both. And when we say we hope that there's a good resolution at some point,
walk away from it if you can.
Yes. All right. Well, that was fun. Last thing before we get into opening up the shop, just to change gears a little bit, is remember next week we are picking the winners for our giveaway for the Thanksgiving Patreon sign up win sort of deal. So the first 5 to sign up are going to get a nice little prize from Kara and I. So we're excited for that. For those of you who have joined Patreon, thank you so much. We are brand new to it. If there's things we're doing that you like, that you don't like, that you want to see more of, and things that you wish we were, let us know.
Or if there's things that we're doing that you're like, this is stupid, stop. Tell me.
Yeah. We take all the feedback here. All right. That's all I got. Are you ready to open up the shop?
I am.
Perfect.
Okay. You ready for a question, baby?
I am.
Okay. We all know you love a reality TV show. So how much do you love brain rot TV?
You know, I weaned off of it this year. We canceled all of our subscriptions recently, but there was a good decade of my life that was all Vanderpump, Real Housewives, what's the Below Deck. I loved some good brain rot.
You even love like Kardashians and...
You know, that was one that I said I was never going to love. And then pandemic happened and me and Julia watched the entire show. Yeah. Oh,
okay, so with you saying that, I know like this year, maybe you've kind of cut back, but what's your favorite part about it? I am not a reality TV gal myself. So what is your favorite part about it?
Okay. My favorite part is when the editing team
have like a whole...
Oh, yeah. When the editing team is being petty AF. So there'll be like a lot of things where like, you know, they'll be like, I literally have never done that in my life. And then it'll cut back. There'll be like a thing that flashed on the bottom of the screen that says literally 5 minutes ago and then show them doing the thing that they weren't doing. Like they're not even like making the edit look bad. It's like they're just calling people out on their stuff and like showing that they're liars. I love that because
would be you.
Everything that you do is on camera.
That would be you though. You'd be the one editing to put that shit in the bottom.
100%. That's why I love it. Let's be honest. It would probably also be me saying, I will never do that thing that I did 5 minutes ago. So
it would.
But it's so entertaining.
Oh my God. Sorry. I need a drink. Okay. What about a good old talk show?
We're talking like a late night talk show sort of deal?
Just a talk show.
I don't know that I've ever really gotten into
I would say
them.
I don't think you're a talk show person. You're not a talk show gal.
Maybe when I would like stay home from school sick as a kid, because it was either that or court TV. That's all you had.
Yeah. Okay. So we all know reality TV, but maybe if you're a younger listener, you don't know what a talk show is. So a talk show is a talk show is distinguished from other TV programs by certain common attributes. In a talk show, one person or group of people or guests discuss various topics put forth by a talk show host. The discussion can be in the form of an interview or a simple conversation about important social, political, or religious issues and events. The personality of the host shapes the tone of the style of the show. A common feature or unwritten rule of a talk shows is to be based on fresh talk, which is talk that is spontaneous. I can't say that word. Spontaneous. Say it. Spontaneous. Jesus Christ.
One thing Kara should never do is be a talk show host.
No, but we're hosts here.
Yes, but we get to edit.
This is true. So the history of a talk show goes back to the 50s, which I guess kind of makes sense, but I thought in my brain it would have been maybe a little bit farther back than the 50s.
Maybe they're just talking like a video talk show. Because
like
radio talk shows.
Well, radio talk shows have been, but 50s, yeah. Okay.
I guess all radio is talk show, if you think about it.
Talk. Okay, so just like everything else, there are sub-genres. So to the talk show, there are the breakfast chat or early morning shows, the late morning chat shows, lifestyle or self-help programs, evening panel discussion shows, late night talk shows, which I think that's kind of what you brought up. And I think that's probably the most common.
That or like the morning shows, right? Like Hoda and, oh my gosh, what was her name?
I don't freaking know. But I think
Kathy.
what time is Kelly Clarkson shows on? I always watch clips of her because I just love her. I think hers is maybe a mid show.
Yeah, I've never watched hers.
Sunday morning talk shows. After shows, so like the feature, like when they go like in-depth discussion about a program or TV show. Spoof talk shows, so Space Coast to Coast. Remember that cartoon?
No. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Because you're little. And the nitty-gritty. Daytime tabloid talk shows.
Yes.
So tabloid talk shows generally feature a host or a panel of guests, and a live audience that interacts exclusively with the host and guests. These shows may feature celebrities, political commentators. Thank you. Kara's not well. Or ordinary people who present unusual or controversial topics. Okay. Otherwise, we refer to this as trash TV.
Yes. All I'm thinking is
Maury,
and then Wendy.
Dr.
Wendy
Phil,
Williams.
Williams. Oh.
Kind of karma, though. That was really mean. In my defense, though, she's the first one who said that. So
moving along.
Okay.
What is something you think is crossing the line, though, when it comes to like TV shows like this? Is there anything that you can think of off the top of your head?
I guess if we're talking like tabloid TV, it's when they're just like, they dig too far into the celebrity's personal life. And that's one of those things like the celebrities, I guess they should also know that they don't get to have private lives, but like sometimes they just go way too far. Like when somebody's I'm thinking like Britney, right? When she was having a very public meltdown. Same thing we were just talking about earlier with mental health. Instead of stopping to help that person, we just make them like this whole new entertainment thing and just like you almost monetize people's struggle.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's kind of why I have an issue with not necessarily reality TV, even though it does do that in certain aspects. But like this type of TV, it's just not my jam because of that, kind of like what you just said. Let's move to ambush television, which is commonly practiced on tabloid talk shows, which is kind of what you just were kind of getting into. Okay. So for those that aren't sure, it's pretty much what it sounds like. An ambush interview is a confrontational interview that takes place without prior notice, often catching the interviewee off guard.
So TMZ.
Yeah. The goal of an ambush interview is to get a spontaneous reaction from the interviewee, which can reveal their true emotions and perspectives. So when you were, I don't even know what you just said, but it triggered this. What was that interview? And I'm not coming for Ellen. I'm not even getting into that shit, but it was on Ellen. Oh my God. What's the actress's name? When Ellen's like, oh, how come I didn't get an invite to your birthday party? She's like, well,
I've seen it on TikTok, but I can't remember.
Yeah. That's not necessarily the ambush part, but it was just like kind of because it's like, what are you talking
you're putting
about?
People on the spot and putting them in an awkward situation.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So typically, and a lot of people don't actually know this, but typically when you're a celebrity and you go on talk shows, you actually bring the topic that the host brings up.
Yeah. Yeah. You bring like your talking points and all that and tell them what's off.
Yes.
So out of bounds and what's okay to ask.
For example, Kristen Bell was on, I think it was like Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon. I can't remember. It was one of them. And she literally, they're like, well, we have this clip of you crying because Dax, her husband, got her a sloth brought to the house and she loves sloths. And then literally I was like listening to a podcast. She's like, well, actually, yeah, it was like I'm trying to like brainstorm what am I going to talk about on the talk show tomorrow. And Dax is like, oh, bring the video of the sloth. And to me, I was like, what? Like, it's so crazy because you don't think about that type of stuff, but it's all just produced.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's all that TV stuff. None of it's really like as organic as it seems.
Right. So the ambush part, though, is not like that. That is like where you're ambushed. You have no idea. You're on live TV or recording and you're just like completely caught off guard. So how do you feel about that type of TV? I think it's kind of obvious, but
yeah, I feel like, it's one thing when we're talking about like trash brain rot TV, right? Those people have signed a contract to be on a reality show and they know when the cameras are around. So like the ambushing in that situation is less to me when it's like the TMZs or the talk shows like what you're talking about, who are doing it without like any sort of prior consent, right? And
or like permission, really.
Yeah. And it just feels really dirty in a way that we know why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Right. It's not always the best motive. So I don't know. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but no. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't entertained by it at some point.
Yeah. I think so. This just makes me, I don't know. I loved Laguna Beach though. That was the only reality show. And that was kind of because it was like fresh and new. Like there really wasn't reality shows like that at the time. So I loved Laguna Beach. I know you didn't really watch it, right?
Is that the one that turned out it was all fake at the end though?
No. The first season was not. So if you listen to, it's over now, but it was Back to the Beach and it was Kristen Cavallari and Steven. And they literally watch every episode from the beginning of the first season. And Kristen even says like by the third season, they've all realized that the producers are going to screw you over. Like not necessarily screw you over, but everything is going to be like, okay, they're going to manipulate it to where they want the story to go. So she's like that whole season, I was just like a fake, just bitch, like over the top, just stupid because she realized she was performing. But
is that the one that at the end of it, they like drop the green screen, or am I thinking of something else?
I think that was The Hills.
It is The Hills. It's The Hills. I'm thinking of The Hills.
Yeah, which was then the spinoff of that. But the first season of Laguna Beach, if you watch that shit, that is just high school students that had no fucking idea what they signed up for. Anyways, okay. Let's talk about an iconic 90s, early 2000s-ish tabloid TV hosts. Do you have any guesses of who we could be talking about? Which I know you didn't really talk about, or you didn't really watch a lot of it. So
wait, is this like a really famous case?
It might not be a case. I don't know what you're talking about. Who do you fucking think the host is?
I'm trying to think of who the host was for this show for this one really specific situation that was
okay. Let's not. Okay.
You know what? You just go on because I want to see. I'm starting to get excited and I don't want to say anything. And
I thought you wouldn't know this.
Let's see if let's see if I do know it.
Oh, no, it is. So we're talking about Jenny Jones.
Yes.
So Jenny Jones is a Canadian television presenter and comedian who is best known for The Jenny Jones Show. And I'm so mad because I thought you wouldn't know this, so you ruined it. Anyway, The Jenny Jones Show ran for 12 seasons from September 16th, 1991 to May 21st, 2003. Having over 2,000 episodes.
If this is what I'm thinking of, I am shocked that she made it into the late 2000s because she should have been taken off the air when this happened.
Okay, well, let's not spoil it.
Okay.
I didn't write this for you to know.
Okay, I'll shut up.
It's okay. The show started as a typical hour-long talk show. The main focuses were on cooking, fashion, and celebrities. Like most things that we love, though, it needed to change to reach a broader audience. And by the second season, The Jenny Jones Show was a full tabloid TV program. And this is kind of where the show reformatted into a panel-style discussion. So the show also changed to have everyday people on as guests. So not necessarily like what you were saying earlier, like celebrities, things like that. It was just like everyday people like us were on shows.
Yeah.
And I think we can kind of all picture this. So guests sit typically side by side on a stage facing a live audience while the host kind of weaves through the audience, gathering their input and questions for the guests. Like we can literally vision it.
Literally the same as like Maury or what was the other one?
Oh shit.
Jerry. Jerry Springer.
I was literally doing
I know.
this.
Like, I could hear the chant in my head, but I couldn't pull the name out.
I was like fist pumping for those that can't see. So Zach, because I couldn't think either. Okay, yes, exactly like that. So to be on the Jenny Jones show, you had to watch the show because during the episodes, there would be a posted message revealing upcoming topics and a number you could call to be considered on the show as a guest, which is so crazy. Wait.
Okay. So I've been there when people have called their, like, because Springer used to do that at the end too with the question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, but is that like, still a thing on
have you
TV?
or a family member? I don't know because I like don't even watch TV anymore. But in high school, we convinced one of my friends to call into Springer and try to get her family on there.
Wait, what was the topic? Do you remember?
It was, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry if you listen. I don't think you do. It was about family trauma and family fighting, and this person had gotten into some legal trouble, and the
I don't know why I'm laughing.
The weapon listed on this ticket of a domestic assault was a ham sandwich. Don't throw ham sandwiches at your parents. That's all I'm going to say. If you listen, I am so sorry about airing your dirty laundry.
Hashtag ham sandwich.
Okay. Now back to the story, though.
Wait, what I want to know is why they didn't get asked to come on.
God only knows if she got a call back or not. That girl had a new phone number every week.
Shit. Okay. Oh my God, I have to pee. Okay. All right. So you had to call the number if it was a topic you wanted to be a part of. Okay.
Yes.
The show would gain anywhere from like 10 to 200 responses. And then over the 12 years, the show reportedly featured roughly 3,000 guests, which that's a lot of fucking guests.
That is, yeah. Like each show would have 3,000? I'm trying to... Or just... Okay, say that whole sentence again.
Ever wanted to spend the night ghost hunting in a haunted asylum? Eloise Asylum presents Paranormal Lockdown. On April 5th from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., you can run the asylum. Discover history, haunts, and the secrets of the past, led by Metro Detroit's premier investigators. There's a limited number of tickets to this exclusive event, and it will sell out. So get your tickets today. Use the promo code HUNT and save $5 off each ticket. Paranormal Lockdown, April 5th at Eloise Asylum. Visit EloiseAsylum.com.
Okay, over the 12 years, the show reportedly featured roughly 3,000 guests.
Oh, okay. So 3,000 guests on episode. I thought, like, for some reason, my brain was like in the audience.
You glitched. Well, in the audience, man, it's well over 3,000.
That's why I was like, either it doesn't make sense if there's 3,000 a show or only. Okay, I'm with it.
Okay, so you didn't get paid to be on the show. However, your airfare, food, hotels, all that stuff was paid. So it's like 1 hour. You get to be on TV for...
Yeah, get your 15 minutes.
Like in the ambush TV that we talked about before, some guests were brought on the show under false pretenses. So, for example, I write in stating that I was bullied by Zach in school and I want to confront him on TV, right? Zach, though, gets an invite to be on the Jenny Jones show because somebody from his past wants to see him.
Oh.
You see how fucked up that can be?
Oh, yeah. No, super manipulative.
Then you're brought out and you're thinking that I don't even know what you're thinking, but that's not how it was presented to you so that you agree to be on the show. So then Zach is ambushed with an audience and a sassy host that drill him for his bullying behaviors.
But like, you also have to know.
I know.
How they present it is not what it's going to be like.
I know, but I guess I do feel like in the beginning,
yeah.
Right? In the beginning, you're like, oh my God, like this TV show, like this well-known TV show wants me to be on. Like, this is wild. Like, I don't know. So I guess at this point, how are you feeling about all this? Like you kind of just said, but like, would you, I know we're in 2024. So if somebody were to be like, hey, do you want to be on this?
I think if somebody had asked me when I was younger, I probably would have said yes.
For sure.
Now, knowing what a digital footprint looks like, although, I talk about ghosts and conspiracy theories and murders online. But
and
like
watery buttholes.
And a lot of watery buttholes. But no, I don't think I would like currently, no.
No, me either. Okay. So do you remember that cute but haunted apartment that you lived in?
Mm-hmm.
Where was
Okay. I know
Where was
exactly what story. That was Lake Orion, Michigan.
that?
This is going to be wild.
We're bringing it to the good old Lake Orion, Michigan.
Mhm.
Okay. Scott Bernard Amador was born on January 26, 1963, and he was the youngest of 6 kids. And that sounds like it could either be really fun or really horrifying. So Scott served 4 years in the Air Force. And when returning back to Michigan, he tended bar at Club Flamingo, a gay club in Pontiac, Michigan. Have you ever I forgot to look it up when it closed.
I don't think that's still around because the only gay club still in Pontiac that I know of is Necto.
I'm going to be honest, I'm surprised that there even is a gay club in Pontiac, Michigan.
Yeah, but there's the huge club scene out there. Club and rave scene.
Never mind. You're so right. I'm stupid. You're right. That makes sense.
And you're not stupid.
Okay, so one of his neighbors stated Scott was a talk show junkie. And I'm sure we all can see where this is going. So I was going to say, I was going to ask you, do you have a guess on what episode topic this would be? But I'm not going to ask you that because you know. So I'm going to give everybody...
Oh, no, I know this story inside and out.
I'm going to give everyone 30 seconds to think about what they think that this topic of this episode is going to be. Okay. All right. And then my next question for you is going to be, do you think that he was the guest that requested to be on the episode, or is he the surprise guest? Don't answer.
Okay.
So everyone else can think about it. Okay. So it was early March of 1995 when 32-year-old Scott Amador and his friend Donna Riley were guests on the Jenny Jones Show. As Donna and Scott sat alongside each other, a joyful Jenny asks the crowd, "Are you ready, guys?"
I'm so ready.
Okay, so picture this. It's me and Zach sitting on the stage. Just kidding. Picture this, though. It is Scott and Donna, and they're sitting on the stage facing this audience. And a lively Jenny Jones with her bleach blonde hair and her yellow suit jacket, her little mic in the audience. And she says, "Now, which of these would you choose to reveal your secret crush on somebody? A, would you write that person a letter? B, would you tell that person in private in case he rejects you? Or C, would you tell that person that you're gay and you hope he is on national television in front of millions?" Jenny then asks Scott and Donna, "Does he know you're gay?" The friends say yes. She asks, "Do you know he is?" And Scott answers, "No, anything is possible." Jenny asks Donna, "Do you have any reason to think he is?" And Donna says, "Not really. He said that his family has kind of questioned him." And Jenny asks, "What is so exciting about him to you?" And this is when Scott replies, "He's got a cute little hard body." As the audience giggles, he continues, "You know, one that you just want to pick up and put in your curio cabinet, dust him off every once in a while."
Oh, God.
And so Jenny says, "You want to physically pick him up?" Not like that, but I don't have a Jenny accent.
The thing is, too, is as much as you're giving it, you are underselling her.
Oh, I am very much underselling. I'll try harder. Okay. And then he says, "Oh, he's just a tiny, cute little thing. He's gorgeous." As the crowd cheers, a smiling, unaware 24-year-old Jonathan Schmitz walks on stage. He sees his friends. He hugs Donna, shakes Scott's hand as it's brought into one of those awkward guy side hugs. Okay.
I can't remember it. At this point, has he heard the topic as he was walking out?
Oh,
okay.
no. You
That's
don't
right.
know this, okay? So he is unaware, okay?
That's what I thought.
And then Jenny, setting the scene, I guess you could say, to John, "Did you think Donna had a crush on you?" That's more what she sounds like. And he says, "Did I?" "No, we're good friends," he replies. So now at this moment, I guess you could think, okay, he thinks that Donna, his friend, has brought him on this show because she wants to confess this secret crush. Jenny, not even letting him, though, complete that sentence that I just read to you, interrupts with, well, guess what? Scott has the crush on you. And then
remind everybody what year this is.
1995.
Okay. This is now on 1995.
A smiling John turns to Scott and says, you lied to me. Laughs and claps along with the crowd. How are you feeling so far? Without spoiling anything at this moment.
I won't spoil anything, but this is enraging of a time where the LGBTQIA plus community was not being protected, not being looked at. I mean, and it's still not today, right? But it's come a long fucking way.
But we're in 2024. This is
1995. I mean, talk about just like the fact that, I mean, I know this man outed himself, right? He chose to be on the show, but like
I have goosebumps right now.
For a TV producer to, it's just so inappropriate to do this to somebody on TV and not think about anything that might happen.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, millions of people watch this.
So now, before there is like any more conversing between the friends, Jenny states she's going to show a little playback of what Scott said about you, John. And we can all envision this if we've ever watched a talk show. Maybe not as much now, but those type of like 90s, early 2000s talk shows, that was kind of a thing. Now let's roll that clip to see, you know what I mean? I feel like everyone can envision it. Maybe not you youngsters. And clip rolls of Scott saying, I got a pretty big hammock in my yard. And I thought about tying him up to my hammock. Well, it entails like whipped cream and champagne, stuff like that. The audience is making all kinds of reactions, and the camera shows John covering his face with both hands. So just full face and palms, like just covering his face. As he brings his hands away, so first it kind of pans to the audience. It pans to him with his hand. Oh my God. It pans to him with his hands on his face, pans to the audience. When it comes back, he brings his hands away and he has his facial expressions have completely changed. Like, you know, the face when you're embarrassed, but angry, disappointed, and shocked, like that face all at once, but he's also still smiling. I think everyone can picture.
Well, that's because you're doing this on TV. This man is now having huge realizations. He's probably feeling really
vulnerable
and objectified.
Regretful. Yes. Yeah. Objectified. We're not even done. So Jenny asks him, did you have any idea that he liked you so much? No, I did not. Can you tell us what your status is? Are you involved with anybody? No, but I am definitely heterosexual. I guess you could say that. As he kind of like nervously, like still kind of smile, laughs, whatever. Audience claps. John claps. What the fuck? So again, it's like, why? Like, I understand that you did volunteer to be on a talk show, and presumably the topic that was given to him was a secret admirer has a crush on you.
Yes.
I do understand that you are putting yourself in this position because anybody could have been that person on that other end, you know, that was going to be sitting in that chair that was going to confess this crush on you. That's going to be embarrassing no matter what, I feel like, right? Like, I don't know.
For being on a talk show, you have to anticipate a level.
I think that you do. And at this point,
gotcha.
She's been on for, a while.
She's not new to the game.
I don't know. It's like, can you tell me what your status is? That's not that invasive a question, I guess, if you're on a reality show for a topic of like a secret admirer. But then it's like, I don't know. But then also I'm like, it's just so personal. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, he states he's heterosexual, whatever. Audience claps, John claps, blah, blah, blah. So the night of the taping, it is said that the friends actually went out drinking together. And I do think that this maybe could be something that you could get over, like being, number one, you're rejected on TV.
Right.
Like Scott was rejected on TV, not in like, disrespectful or like whatever way, but like, no, I am
but talk about
heterosexual.
putting yourself out there. And then
So he put himself out there on national TV. He was rejected on TV.
Also, if he thought there was zero chance, he wouldn't do that on TV. So he had some hope in the game.
Yes. So he's rejected on TV, and then you're also being confessed to on TV. So I do feel like maybe this could be something that you guys could get over as like a friend group. I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on that part? I don't know.
I mean, it depends on totally their dynamic, but yeah, I mean, I don't think it's anything like, to me, it wasn't shocking that they all went out for drinks afterwards.
No, because I think it's you're all in shock, right? So it's like, holy shit, what
absolutely.
do you do?
Nobody's processed anything yet.
Yeah. And so for a little bit of the background, Donna had introduced these two to each other. So Donna lived in a neighborhood, trailer park or whatever you want to call it, near Scott. Or no, she lived in a park. I'm so sorry. She knew Scott, I think, and then lived near, it doesn't matter. She introduced them. Okay, so I
think he was in an apartment and she was in a house, if I remember correctly.
All I know is that Scott lived in a trailer park. I think that John lived in an apartment near, they lived in an apartment complex near each other. And she knew Scott, introduced everybody. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I can't imagine though being her as a common denominator. Like, I introduced these two. Like, I just would feel so awkward to be number one on this show as the person that's just like sitting there, like has really no commentary. And like,
for the three of them to go get that far though, they have to have a certain personality where they like that sort of attention or something. You know what I mean?
Something, like, right? That's what I thought.
There has to be a driving personality factor there that gets you onto the show.
You'd have to think, though, that like Donna and Scott writing in and bringing Donna with him, at least, you'd have to think when you're writing in that if you got picked, the person that you're writing in about would say yes.
Right.
Because like, I'm not going to try to get somebody to come on a TV show that I know is absolutely going to say no. I'm not even going to try.
I have more thoughts on that, but I'll wait.
Okay. All right. So 3 days after the taping, there was a suggestive note left on John's house. I tried really hard to find what the note said, but even when I was like seeing screenshots of it, I couldn't read it. So it was, I'm not quite sure what it said, okay? But it was just said it was a suggestive note.
It was flirty and suggestive.
Yeah, no signature. So John went to Scott's house to confront him about this note, but only after withdrawing money and purchasing a shotgun. At Scott's, he asks if the note was left by him. And he receives a response as a smile, just like a flirty little smile. So John went back to his car, retrieved his newly purchased shotgun, and shot Scott twice in the chest. After he called 911 to report the murder. So this is where we get into the of it all. The gay panic defense, or homosexual advance defense, is a victim-blaming strategy of legal defense, which refers to a situation in which a heterosexual individual charged with a violent crime against a homosexual or bisexual individual claims they lost control and reacted violently because of an unwanted sexual advance that was made upon them. How would you feel if someone thought you were a homosexual? John's father stated on trial.
Oh, it's just I'm my blood pressure.
I should have warned you on this one. I should have put a disclaimer. I meant to, like, hey everyone, this is gonna really piss y'all off. Okay, so that was an actual fucking statement on trial that John's father said. How would you feel if someone thought you were a homosexual?
This was late 90s. This is
thought.
I mean, toxic masculinity is at its highest. Gender roles.
Thought.
Yeah, it makes it okay for you to shoot somebody point blank in the chest.
So the defense claimed being diagnosed with manic depression mixed with his Graves' disease, which I can't remember. I meant to look it up. Graves' disease has nothing to do with this.
No.
Caused homicide by let me just restart that sentence for y'all. The defense claimed being diagnosed with manic depression mixed with his Graves' disease caused homicide by mental illness and humiliation using the gay panic defense.
Okay. Nope, not yet. I before I let my full rage out, I'm gonna let you get through the court case.
So in the Netflix doc, Trial by Media Talk Show Murder, which is, I hate docs, you know that. It was really good.
It is a really
Amy
good
Whalen for National Center for Lesbian Rights says, it shouldn't be humiliating. Imagine if every time a woman is hit on in a bar, she can just fly into a rage and kill that person.
Abso-fucking-lutely. What difference does it matter what that person has between their legs who has an attraction to you that shouldn't put you in a rage no matter what?
And at the top of the episode, I told y'all the cramps are cramping and the emotions I feel I want to kill a lot of people. So right now, if the wrong person hit on me, I really think that I could pull out a fucking machete and cut their head off. But guess what?
God.
I'm not going to do it.
No, because you have self-control.
I'm actually glad that you do know this because I did want it to be a lot like a discuss. So, But on trial, Jeffrey Feiger, which if you're from the good old Michigan, Feiger, he asks Jenny Jones, it would be embarrassing to you to have somebody discuss with you here without discussing it with you in advance, somebody's fantasy about tying you up to a hammock and licking whipped cream off of you with strawberries and champagne. That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Jenny smiles and says, it could be exciting. On fucking trial.
Yeah, she's
on trial.
She's an absolute nightmare for some of the things she says and the delusions and her way of justifying her own actions. Yeah.
Now, what I will say is that she is, quote unquote, a celebrity, like whatever, right? So she does have a team and she has a strong legal team and they are fucking pumping her with what to say.
Oh, yeah.
How to
it's
act.
all PR and spin.
So I do kind of feel bad for her in a sense because I can't imagine, I would hope that this woman had some sort of regret, remorse. I'm just saying regret, remorse. And the fact that then you're being feeded like, hey, all the shit that you have to say, state, whatever. And, you know, she was dressed professionally, but she had no fucking makeup on, which is purposeful.
Yeah,
purposeful. She looked like shit on trial, but that's purposeful.
I'll give her literally no remorse or anything.
No. Well, listen, stop. We're playing devil's advocate right now. Okay. And then, you know, he drilled into her a little bit more, but I just can't. I'm sorry. So but also, because here's the thing, you didn't murder anybody. So show your fucking sympathy, you bitch. Anyway, moving on. Scott's brother in the same doc says, we're talking about experimenting on people for ratings. And
absolutely.
that fucking hit me because this is ultimately why I don't necessarily like this type of TV because we're experimenting on people for ratings. And if we can't look at 2024 though and be like, fuck, that is literally what social media is for. Maybe not ratings, but for our likes and our comments and our interactions. It is so disgusting.
It's all very performative and we don't know the long lasting impacts of any of it, but
they ain't good. So this is where I was just like, this case makes me mad on so many fucking different levels because like we talked about at the top or the middle, you agreed to be on the show, not knowing who was going to tell you that they had a crush on you. That right there, you are willingly setting yourself up for potential embarrassment, kind of like what we said a little bit earlier. And John did, though, state that he was told it was going to be a female that had a secret crush on him, but the show denied that. And he was not the only guest that was supposed to be on the show. This was supposed to be like, I think like 6 or 7 different people, if I'm not mistaken, that were like in the same category of like secret admirer. And they were like, no, it was never told it was a particular female, male, whatever. No, I don't know if that's true or not. The show, though, purposely, and Jenny, made Scott continue on about fantasies that he thought about and then made John sit on stage and watch. Okay. And then but then I go, okay, so.
It was geared to have shock value.
But here's the problem. This was a taping. This never aired. Okay. So even if the taping would have aired, so what? You stated on national television, though, that you were straight.
Right.
Like, I'm not into him. I'm straight. Here's where then I'm like, okay. I do get the feeling that he was maybe having mixed emotions with his sexuality, right? So the comments that Donna had made where she said that his family had thought maybe that he was. And then even himself on the show when he was like, you lied to me. And just like the things that he said made me question. Again, though, whatever, not my fucking business. So you don't want people to know you're gay, or you don't want people to think you're gay? No reason to kill somebody.
Purely speculative on my point. There's a reason that a straight man is hanging out with a gay man and their friend, right? He was very comfortable with his sexuality, which I think he's proved that he isn't, or there's likely a chance that there was questioned. If other people were questioning his sexuality, there is a chance, and I'm not saying he was or wasn't. I will never know. This has just always been my thought on it, right? Is that he probably struggled with his own sexual identity
and that's
to some extent. And there, it's the way I've watched the documentary. I've watched a couple other things on this one. There's sides of the story that aren't being told and that can't be told, because from the way he went over there without the gun at first, there is speculation that there may have been some sexual interaction between the two before the murder occurred. Right. So that's where I started to go earlier with, yes, the one chose to come out as gay on TV, but if the other one was struggling, now you have that amount of embarrassment of basically him almost being outed. It's so wrong. It's so wrong. I have
goosebumps because,
and I'm not defending the killer either, by the way. I think it's absolutely horrible what he did.
No, but it's like I have full body goosebumps because this is just something that I cannot even fucking fathom. Like, because I never had to do this, right? Like, I never had to come out to my family, to my friends, to whatever. Like, I never had to think that maybe I could potentially be a disappointment to them or to be disowned or thought of differently. Like, I've never had to do that, right? So, like, you have, and many of our listeners have, and it makes me so fucking angry and emotional that somebody would potentially take that away, because this could be that case. We don't know. Right? We don't know if he was leaning to that, but you on national television potentially outed somebody when they didn't fucking ask for it or know. And that is so disgusting to me.
Let me just jump up on a soapbox right here real quick. Doesn't fucking matter if it's on national TV or not.
Oh, no.
Let me be clear to everybody listening. Is that it is never the responsibility of anybody other than the person who has chose to come out. That doesn't matter if you're at a table with two people who you assume already know. That doesn't mean you're drunk out at a party. It doesn't anything. Somebody's sexuality is their business to tell. And I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm going to get off my soapbox because that shit pisses me off. Because you just never know where that person, right? Somebody who isn't a heterosexual, right? You never know where they feel safe or don't feel safe. And so while you might feel totally safe, right? It is always the responsibility of the person who's coming out to divulge. Okay, I'm done. Off the soapbox.
You can stay on it. It's fine. The court case becomes a trial against the Jenny Jones show, more so trying to prove that the show caused the crime. So an aggressive Jeffrey Feiger asks, were you the person that asked Scott to express the fantasy on the air? Aren't you? Show me the document in which Jonathan Schmitz gave you permission to bring him on a national television show and have another man describe a lurid sexual fantasy about him.
Yeah, no informed consent.
We didn't ask for permission for that. A defeated Jenny responses. Feiger annihilated Jenny on trial. Annihilated. And I had so many more responses and things that I was going to put in here.
You know the reason why they went for the show over.
But listen, her witty retorts and confidence that she had at the beginning, because she was being fed by her team. And that's why I do kind of feel bad, because maybe that's not the way that she wanted to go. I don't know. I cannot speak for her. Her actions and demeanor are a completely different story when you watch. So I cannot speak, though, for what maybe she wanted to do. But her witty retorts and confidence, they deflated. I mean, they were just deflated. They deflated.
Deflated. I was going to let it go.
Deflated as the trial went on. It was just, you could see that she was just, I mean, he pounded her down with like a meat. What are those things called? A meat
tenderizer.
I mean, he just fucking annihilated this woman. And ultimately, John was found guilty and he was sentenced to 25 to 50 years. In Scott's family, they did file a negligence lawsuit against the Jenny Jones show. Mm-hmm. And the family alleged that the producers of the show ambushed Schmitz through the revelation of a same-sex crush, and that they should have known the segment would result in violence. And in 1999, the family was awarded over $29 million. So here's my,
that is why, sorry, I am to come back to that. That's why Feiger went for the show.
Listen.
Because there was no other money to get.
Stop. My last question to you is, do you think the show should be the blame?
Not the blame, but they should absolutely eat some of the blame of that. That is, it's negligent, right? That would be, you look at like psychological studies, right, that have had laws made because they were horribly unethical and had an effect on somebody. And there's times where those could be held liable. I think Jenny is absolutely able to be held liable because she didn't get informed consent. She also didn't present things in a way that wasn't manipulative, nor I think as the producer team and her and everyone else, if you're going to do that kind of entertainment, you have a responsibility to look out for the safety of the people you're bringing on the show.
Mm-hmm. So would you say this? This is off my top of my head right now. But would you think then if it was fully presented to John, you have a secret admirer, could be female, could be male, that would be okay?
As somebody who spends all day looking at contracts from a legal standpoint, that probably would have held up a lot better. Do I think it's okay?
No, I don't even mean held up in court. I don't mean any. I just mean, do you think that would have been better for this?
It's a two-part answer. Personally, I don't think it's okay, but I think from a legal standpoint, you could absolutely get away with it.
Well, I guess I don't mean that. I guess I just mean is that if how the show presented it to John was, you have a secret admirer that wants to come forward. So in John's head, he's thinking, this is a female. It was never disclosed. My question is, do you think that if they were to say, hey, you have a secret admirer that wants to come forward, could be male, could be female, this would change the whole everything of this?
I'm not going to change my answer. No, I said personally, I don't think it's okay, but I don't think they would have gotten any money from the court case.
Yeah.
Like, I personally, I don't think it's okay, but I think it still would have happened.
I think, I'm just saying, I think it would have been better for John, right? Because at least he would have like thought in his head, like, oh, I have a secret admirer, but it also could be a man. And then he might not have went on the show.
I mean, it's so hard to speculate on that, right?
I know. So do you think, though, that if Scott started hitting on John without the show, this could have been the same outcome?
I mean, it very well could have. That's the thing, was we don't know what was going on inside their heads. The likelihood of it being the same outcome is probably much less, right? Yes. Because I think at the end of the day, I personally feel 100% speculation that John is not 100% straight. Mm-mm. And now, he's defended it from his family before, and now this is about to happen on live TV. Now his manhood and his own viewpoint of his respect and masculinity is all, very much at risk in his own brain.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think that it's a higher risk that the fact that it was on, or wasn't even on TV, it didn't even air yet, but it was potentially going to be aired, was a really high risk factor for John. I do, though, think that the way that he was raised and the, homophobic tendencies that his family had, if you could say that, but even just like the question that his father said on court, like, how would you feel if somebody thought you were homosexual?
Yeah.
And just like him already being questioned about it, like that does go to show you how you're being raised. And we all know that, like, this is all about everything, religion, politics, gay, straight, whatever. That is all how you're raised, right? It is the way your upbringing kind of molds you into this type of shit. So I don't know. I do think that if something were to happen where it could have potentially been like a quote unquote public thing, whether it was national TV or not, I think that, yeah, this still could have been the outcome, but it's not as highly
true
of a thing. So,
because I mean, I would have had to imagine that Scott had to jokingly going out hit on John at some point. There had to be some little signs.
And so here's the thing that Donna had said in court. The note, that suggestive note, was actually supposed to be it was like a joke, and it was supposed to be something to make John laugh because, again, they all went out drinking that night. So they probably had a good old fucking laugh about it. And then that note probably, because, okay, you have to imagine you're 24, and you get invited to go to a taping of this Jenny Jones show. You're going to tell your family, right? Because you're not just going to leave Michigan and not say anything. So your family knows that you're going on the Jenny Jones show for something, right? Your friends, your family, like somebody has a crush on you, a secret admirer, right? They all know this. So I can imagine, you know, you have a good night with your friends that night. You come home and they all ask you, so who was it?
Right.
And then you have to say, it was Scott. I'm not saying it like that, but you have to say, like, to him, he's thinking, oh my God, I have to go home and now tell my fucking family, who's already homophobic, my friends that maybe are, that it was Scott, my friend Scott and Donna set me up.
In his own head, his whole life got turned upside down right there. I mean, it was only, 72 hours from the time they were at the show till the murder happened. The
saddest part, though, like, and you said earlier, is that he questioned him. And I think that, I don't know, but I think that in his head, this is one of his really good friends. And maybe something happened, or maybe he also had the same thoughts that he was fighting. But this was also one of his closest friends. And he had to go into that house and say, was this note from you?
Yeah.
And when he got that, I think that maybe
there's a lot of his story that doesn't add up about how he ended up at Scott's house in regards to the note. There's just, that's where there's a lot of speculation because the story just doesn't add up right.
If it adds up or it doesn't add up, at the end of the day, it's like, was it the show's fault that a murder happened? Yes. And I say that way because it's like, the show didn't make you murder somebody, but
we have to look at it in almost legal terms, right? They're guilty by negligence.
No, for sure.
Are they guilty of murder? No, but they are guilty of not protecting the safety of those that they're bringing on the show.
Exactly. And that is a fucked up thing. That is just
absolutely.
And I highly encourage everybody to watch that doc. We'll have it, posted or listed. But it's one of those things where it's just like, it pisses you off so bad because you're watching these people just nonchalantly.
And it's not the first time or the last time something like that will happen. I mean, we covered the wife swap one, the Stockdale family murders. Yeah. Another thing, because so much of their dirty laundry gets aired out, right? It's, I mean, Ruby Frankie is another one that's not that far off.
I can't even get down that dumb fucking bitch. She deserves to burn in goddamn.
It's like, I don't understand how people think that putting everything out there for the whole world is going to turn out well for their family.
No, and that's why this is one of those where it's not necessarily hard for me because at the end of the day, you murdered somebody and that's fucked up. Yeah. But it's one of those where it's hard for me because it's like you willingly came on the show, right? You knew you could be embarrassed, whatever way you want to spin that, right? And then you killed one of your closest friends because you didn't want people to think you were gay? What? Whether you are gay or not gay, I don't really give a fuck. What? And again, I go back to that quote. It's like, if every woman that was hit on, not even at the bar, but mostly at the bar, if every woman was hit on at the bar, if they could just rage and kill, that would happen multiple millions of times a day. So that's just not okay.
At the same bar.
Exactly. I'm very sorry, my oddballs. I needed a good murder.
It was, this is one that just, it will never not enrage me. I think a gay man and I've lived in Lake Orion, right? So like I feel
I
like
guess I'm ignorant because that I thought you wouldn't have known this because it makes sense that you should know it. But I was just like hoping that you didn't. But I'm kind of glad you did because you do have more insight. I just was like, it didn't matter. I read about it. I saw it. I watched the shit and I was just like this. I don't even remember how I stumbled upon this, but I was like, I wanted a murder. This was not the murder that I was thinking. I wanted like a slasher, but this pissed me off.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
25 to 50 years. Did you get far enough to figure out how much time he served?
He was released in 2017.
After 22 fucking years.
Bitch. And you know what? He looks like fucking ass.
All right. We don't need to rag on people for their looks. They can't help their looks.
He should look like ass because you killed your friend. And I hope that
is true.
I hope that, you found a gay lover in jail because I think you're gay. And I don't hope that you found a gay lover. I hope that, you know what? Fuck it.
People can read between the lines. I think we know where you're going. Okay. Great job. It is a very long episode, though, and these people probably want to get out of here, and I'm about to pee my pants.
I know, I gotta pee too. So I'm so sorry. This was the wild, revealing same-sex secret crush TV trash episode that I just had to fucking tell you about. That ended in a tragic... at the end of the day, it ended in a tragic young person's death, and that's the saddest part. So, sorry.
All right. Well, once again, Kara, can I lighten it up for you?
I wanted to be dark. Okay.
Yes, you did a good job of it.
Listen.
And hold on, because 1 week from today, don't forget, we are announcing the winners of the Patreon giveaway, so you still have a chance. Join it now.
Isn't it like Thanksgiving next week?
Yes, it is. 1 week from today.
God. Okay, so appreciate you, love you. If you have subscribed to Patreon, oh my God, we really love you. If you can't, if you don't, we still really love you. Don't even act like we don't. It's true. We do. We appreciate you. We love you. We support you because you support us, and we're here for you for anything that you need. Even if you're just having a bad day and you need to message me and talk to me, I will talk to you.
Yeah, right. The call-in voicemail. You need to vent something out that you don't want anyone else to hear. Believe me, we won't play that one.
If you just need to tell us that you're having a bad day, tell us you're having a bad day. Sometimes if you just get it out there, it makes you feel better. We talked about mental health at the top. This episode is kind of a mental health episode.
Absolutely.
Let's all just, vent it out if we need to so that we're not just shooting people, okay? But the most important thing that you could do for us is creep it real, yeah, balls.
Goodbye.
Bye.